Hi, it's Lynn with Lynn Change Theory, where I just like to challenge you to think beyond normal, average, everyday thoughts. Challenge your thinking. Here's one. For every piece of technology, there is a human natural ability to do the same thing. The physical technology is just a reproduction of what human beings can do naturally on some level. For example, clairs. Think of like clairvoyance. That's one that's most commonly thought of and often seen in movies, right? You see a person, they're sitting at home by themselves doing nothing, and then they see an image of some person that's really dear to them that is about to get mugged or robbed or murdered or whatever, and they pick up the phone and they call them and they tell them, hey, get out of the house before blah blah blah, and it saves that person's life. Well, that vision that they see of something happening, either something at a distance, something maybe in the future, possibly something in the past, is described as clairvoyance. And we have technology that pretty much reproduces clairvoyance, and that is the television. You can see things that are going on. I don't know about in the future, but definitely in the past. You can see a movie, you can watch something live on TV, and that's basically technology which copies clairvoyance. There's also clairaudience. That's, speaking of hearing things, I hear something really strange. I think it's the leaves in the trees that are blowing. But clairaudience, hearing things at a distance. They may be, again, usually we think of these things happening with loved ones. Like if a twin gets hurt on the other side of the world, the other sibling may hear their twin in pain and give them a call and find out what's going on. Well, that's clairaudience. And technology that copies clairaudience are things like the telephone. We can pick up the phone and call anyone anywhere in the world and talk to them, even though they're not right in front of us. There's also claircognizance, which is basically the feeling just that you know something, right? You know the answers to the test, you know the winning lottery numbers, you just have a gut feeling about what to do or what to say or how to handle a situation. And you go with the gut, and usually the gut is right on point. Well, now Google is trying to emulate that with technology. It is creating, or has already created, the Internet of all things. Elon Musk has said that he wanted to implant a chip into a human's brain, which is a physical technology, and have it tapped into the internet so that you can get anything you want, order whatever you want instantaneously. It hooks together with neural links and chips and mirror neurons and blah, 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 whatever. There are some other ones that are not quite as known or talked about. Things like clairalience, which is, I don't know if I said that right, but smelling things. So you may smell if there's a fire somewhere. You may smell like people who have loved ones that have passed. They sometimes smell them in the room, or they'll smell cigarette smoke. Well, there are chips and technology and devices that you can buy that have smelling senses in them. For example, in houses there are carbon monoxide detectors and fire detectors, and they work on similar principles, that chips can read the air and detect what smell it is, as well as things like clairgustance, which is tasting something that may not, you may not have anything in your mouth, but some strange, odd reason you can taste things. Again, there are chips and detectors and machinery that can separate and identify tastes. These are all technologies, and there's so many more. I mean, if you want to look at it at a more simplistic level, think of a car, right? We used to talk about cars in terms of horsepower because we used to ride horses to get everywhere. Then we mechanized walking. Bike riding is a simplistic form of what I'm talking about. And then cars, and then scientists are now trying to do what Spock and everybody on Star Trek did to dematerialize themselves and rematerialize themselves somewhere else. So here's the question. How much value does this technology give to your life? Could be quite a bit. I mean, I don't know, telephones save a whole lot of time. But the further and further that we get away from the physical telephone wire, like the ones right above my head, and we move into a detached technology that uses waves, microwaves and radio waves and sonic waves and blah blah waves and on and on and on. What is the value that it provides to your life, and at what cost? And what if you could begin using the technology that you already have? What would that add to your life? What would be that cost? Just something to think about.